I want to hear more about starting the agency because that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I kind of fell into it because, well, first, I've been a designer for a really long time. Um and then I went into creative directing because I really wanted to do that. My whole life I knew I was going to be a creative director. And I also knew that it was going to be really hard to take someone else's job because when you're a creative director, you usually that for like 20 plus years. Like they don't creative directors don't really circulate out with any type of like fashion, lifestyle, whatever. People usually stick to one person. So that was really tough to digest. And I felt like the only thing that would be possible for me to do that is to be my own. And there was a lot of turn of events where I got into a car accident. I almost lost my life. And I had a good amount of time to really sit down with myself and understand that I wanted to do something for me. And that's kind of where it led into is like, okay, I'm gonna just follow my dreams and I don't know where this is gonna head, but I just went for it. And that was around the time that social media was or Instagram was kind of at a point where there was just pictures, like we just took photos of like a wall and we're like, yeah, that's cool. But I saw something about it. I saw that this is going to be a platform that's going to really take off and be part of our world, like I could really see it. And um so I started producing photo shoots for friends who had businesses, and then I started managing influencers. And it was weird because like I didn't know you could make money off of the platform. It wasn't at a point where it was making money. It was just it kind of just trickled in. And so people were like, "Will you manage me? Like I have all these emails." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like what emails?" And it was just all these brands going, "Hey, we want her to, wear this, wear that. We'll pay $1,000." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is actually a business." So
Right.
I started just accumulating all these people and was reaching out to them and going, "Hey, can I manage you?" And they're like, "For what?" I'm like, "Well, do you want to make money off this platform?" And they're like, "I didn't know you could do that." So that started happening. I started having like this influencer roster of random people who are now actually pretty legit people in the space. At that time, it was just like, who's who. And I was creative directing everything we did as well at the same time. So like I'd bring on brands and we'd create a strategy and then, inject it into the influencers and everything. And our first really big idea that came into fruition was in 2000, like the end of 2014, where we really were trying to push this idea of bringing multiple influencers onto a trip. And we pitched to everyone, Bumble, everybody. And the one person that took a risk on us was San Lorenzo Bikinis. And they're like, "You know what? Let's do it. Let's take you to Hawaii. Let's do this whole tour kind of idea. Let's shoot the influencers everywhere." Well, that word wasn't even a term then either. It was just like, let's shoot these people. Yeah, let's shoot these people. And it blew up. It was suddenly like an idea that everyone was like, "Whoa, who are these people? And why are they all together? And what are you doing there?" And then we just really became internationally known like overnight. And it was really, really cool because it was like, wow, I get to travel, I get to work, I get to hang out with people I love, I get to pick and choose who I want to work with.
Be creative.
And do everything that like made my heart and my soul sing, And now it's been almost 10 years, doing this. Been self-funded the whole time.
Wow.
And, we've stayed a 7-figure business this whole time. And I've just tried really hard just to stay true to myself, and I don't want to be around people that take my energy, but make my energy better. And I really, really enjoy seeing brands come to life. Like I love that. I didn't go after the products that were already cool. I was bullied when I was in high school. So I feel like I really enjoy seeing brands that don't have a coolness yet and like sitting them at the cool kids table. Like those are my favorite projects because I feel like it taps into who I was. I always wanted to feel important because both my parents split up when I was younger. And I felt like I was left on like my own island, and I had to prove to my friends that I was worthy. And I think that's also why I'm so loyal to people, is because I want to prove like I will be anything and everything for you. Just give me a shot. And so I felt like that tapped into my work life as well. Yeah.
It's really interesting. Yeah. I mean, you guys kind of came up at a similar time in terms of like the rise of Instagram and social media, right?
Yeah,
would you say?
For sure. I think so.
Yeah,
right?
we worked together pretty.
Yeah, we worked
fairly early on. Yeah.
Like, hey, do you want to do a Sugar Bear?
Yeah, when was
commercial?
that? I remember. I can't remember what year that was.
In like 2016.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Which was a really fun shoot all around. You know, it was like a crazy thing to. It was awesome. I think.
Did you have a similar experience in terms of like how to grow on social media or how to grow on Instagram? Like how?
I mean, for me, everyone had Instagram by this point. It had been at least a year or two. And I just didn't understand it. And I had no desire to be on it. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, you post a photo and then people like it and they double tap it. And then whoever gets the most likes is like the best photo or whatever. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just keep tapping it and get all the likes? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why would I do this? And so my friend ended up taking my phone, and they're like, she was so awesome about it. And like their whole family is like my second family. I talk about them all the time with you, Will. She just told me it was going to change my life. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
That reverse hair bun did change your life.
Exactly. But that was it. I got obsessed with how it worked, you know, and I think you do need a level of obsession when it comes to social media, and also time. You know, time's a major factor. Like as I've gotten busier, it's been getting harder and harder to do social media. But at the same time, I was so obsessed with learning how the algorithm worked, how what to post, what people engage better with. You learn people better, you learn your audience better. Yeah. And the things that worked at that time don't really work now. But it was this ecosystem of like, okay, how does this work? How do I figure it out? And then how do we make it grow? And so I kept throwing things at the wall, and some things hit. Some people really reacted. I built it off fitness in the beginning, and that was, you know, obviously at the time one of my biggest passions, and that's what I went to school for a brief moment. but I ended up trying a couple different things, and it was this random moment of things weren't really going viral at the time. Like maybe some stuff here and there, but the only people I saw that were really famous were famous people, you know, celebrities, movie stars. Yeah. And that's when I was like, okay, let me just brand myself instead of just doing fitness, because it kind of had a cap at the time. So I was like, let me figure out another way to grow this, and it's more in line with what I want to do, which is acting and everything. Well, ironically, I did the most random thing because I just knew I had to put content out that day. And I was like, let me throw my hair up in a bun or whatever.
and it just
went crazy. Viral, like things. It blew my mind. It was on Facebook, had like 100 million views. My Instagram, like I went from literally 0 followers on Facebook. Someone's like, you need to make a Facebook fan page too at the time. And I had a couple thousand or something on Instagram. Posted that video. It was a couple 100,000 on Instagram, and then 300,000 overnight on Facebook. Like It was insane. And I remember growing. Like watching it grow, you're like, I just got 100,000 followers in a day.
Yeah,
like, what is going on right now?
I remember even that call that I got from the owner of Sugar Bear going, we want this guy. I'm like, wait, I have to do my research. So I'm like looking into it, and I see the reverse hair bun thing. I see the Ellen show and everything. And I'm like, it makes sense. It does make sense. You got famous off your hair, and like they wanted you. Yeah. Like, to be a part of this. Yeah. So
there's definitely been a lot of conversations. It just came up.
Well, go ahead. No, yeah. It's like the reason I ask is like both you guys, you know, have done so much incredible things on social media where it's like, I think it's interesting for people watching and listening to like kind of hear the similarities and the differences between the journeys, because it's two successful paths that are uniquely similar and different. Right. But yeah, no, I appreciate you both sharing, because it's like cool to hear, and it kind of proves there's a lot of different ways to go about it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video.
And subscribe and hit the bell for a whole lot more to come.
Thanks for tuning in to Studio 22.